In Australia, there's a new kind of woman emerging. Loud, vulgar, drunken, and dangerous.
I'll tell anyone who said my behaviour is inappropriate to f*** off.
They're called Ladettes.
I could go out and have a good night without drinking. I prefer to get drunk off my face and like, ah!
Now, 8 of the worst examples of their kind have been sent to the other side of the world. Their destination, an old-fashioned English finishing school.
In the lady that we turn out from Eggleston Hall, I want to see respect, good deportment, good manners.
These girls, they've got disgusting habits, and we are going to give them shock treatment.
For half a century, young ladies have been coming here to refine their skills in the social and domestic arts. Now the staff are about to face their greatest challenge yet.
What do you see as being a lady?
In only 4 weeks, these Australian ladettes will be drilled in the traditional disciplines of the British ruling classes. It will be a painful process.
Where is your handkerchief?
Take a breath. I'm breathing! You are a menace to society.
Until 3 girls prevail and an extraordinary transformation takes place.
I mean, the school has obviously done wonders for the girls.
Good evening, Your Royal Highness.
Over the years, the teachers at Eggleston Hall Finishing School have worked tirelessly to refine, and in some cases reform, many young women. School principal Mrs. Harbord has been at Eggleston Hall for more than 30 years. Now she's preparing to meet a very different breed of girl, Antipodeans. This term's intake is coming 9,000 miles from the other side of the world.
At least we've got one thing in common, I suppose. I think the fact that they're Australian girls hopefully will have a closer tie with us. You know, we share Her Majesty, we share all sorts of wonderful common bonds.
A flight from Australia has arrived and the school driver is waiting to meet the new pupils. But as the last of the passengers appear, there's no sign of the students. The Ladettes have been detained following reports of disruptive behaviour on board, and the airport authorities have alerted the police. No effort has been spared to make the new arrivals feel welcome, from crisp sheets to the finest ladies' toiletries. But the teaching methods here will not be quite so soft. When it comes to cutting wild birds down to size, there's nobody better equipped than Vice Principal and cookery teacher Mrs. Schrager.
We mean business. We mean what we say goes. And if they don't do it, then they are out.
The Ladettes have arrived. All aboard for Eggleston Hall. They head for the school, but news of their exploits has got there first.
Rosemary, I can't tell you. Unruly behaviour by all of them at Newcastle Airport.
No.
And if that wasn't enough, we've got damage by Sky Harper.
21-year-old Sky comes from Brisbane. She's unemployed and is the despair of her father.
She gets into just as much trouble as any boy would get into, and she leads the pack when she goes out and gets into trouble too.
Sky says she wants to turn over a new leaf, but the early signs are not encouraging.
And I try to act like a lady when I'm with my mum, out with her little girly friends, but it never works as I'm always the one that wants to when I start drinking and being the loud one. And they're all like, ooh, darling.
Skye has been expelled from 5 schools and has had several run-ins with the police. These days, it's usually pubs that Skye gets kicked out of, and on any night of the week, she's likely to get carried away. The coach should be heading straight for Eggleston Hall in the Yorkshire Moors. The Ladettes have been drinking since they left Australia. But it seems Zoe Irons still has a thirst for more.
We need someone to get some booze. Bring some bugs.
When it comes to drinking, Zoe's a professional. She spent years honing her skills. Zoe comes from Adelaide and is going nowhere fast. She has a great future behind her.
In the past, I've been a checkout chick. I've worked at a casino, which was great, and I was only 17, and I'd go to the bar and they all thought I was older.
These days, she lives a life of leisure. And Zoe's idea of a good night out is a 2-day bender. The only thing Zoe will allow between her and a bottle is a man. Any man.
Give us a kiss!
She's a slacker and she doesn't care.
I've got all the spare time in the world. So I wake up and I'm like, hey, Gay, what are we going to do today? Where shall we go? Where shall we drink?
Zoe has no self-discipline. So what would she make of the disciplinarians of Eggleston Hall?
I'm going to this finishing school because I need to go. It's like rehab to me. But to turn me into a lady, they're going to have to work bloody hard.
The Ladettes should have arrived hours ago. But now, in wild country, they heed the call of nature.